Last year, local industry experts predicted what 2018 might look like. Most were bullish, while some remained cautiously optimistic. Experts expected an abundance of capital, and there was, but for quality deals. The multifamily sector remains one of the best asset classes, but there has been some weakening with vacancy rates increasing. Industrial still remains the preferred asset class, as there is a shortage of Class A industrial space in Richmond and the Hampton Road markets. Out-of-town investors looking at Richmond for yield was evident by Brookfield Asset Management's acquisition of Four Cities properties. As it turned out, 2018 was another strong year for commercial real estate. Let's hear from this year's experts what 2019 will bring.
Forecast for 19, mixed, I would say. We've got a clear signal from the Fed that short-term rates are going to be going up. And as far as the real estate market goes, so much of that's going to be driven by where the interest rates markets fall. Short-term rates maybe not as critical as long-term rates, particularly right now when they seem to be battling each other. We're cautiously optimistic at this point in time. The multifamily market should stay strong. The demand is there. The only question may be, will the supply all of a sudden outstrip it? Because there's a lot of units programmed to come online in the marketplace, and there's a lot more on the drawing boards. We also have the change in bricks and mortar needs within the community, both on the office market and more significantly in the retail market. So there's a lot of changes right now, and I think the real estate folks have to be very tuned in and wary of those changes and make sure they really think through what comes next.
I'm extremely bullish about the outlook for economic development in the Richmond region for 2019. We are seeing just a tremendous amount of activity and excitement about Richmond as a great place to locate businesses.
Our outlook for 2019 is really similar from 2018. Positive and a lot of good opportunities as we turn the corner into 2019. The availability of talent, not only in the construction industry, but in other industries in the economy, continues to be a challenge. And then the availability of materials, equipment, components of construction projects, just because the demand is pretty great. And is the supply able to keep up on the material and equipment side?
2019, the way we see it, is continued demand, strong demand for affordable rental housing, and including workforce housing. And we don't see that changing for at least the next 12 months. On the homeownership side, we are concerned about rising interest rates. When you couple that with the lack of supply for first-time home buyers, and also the fact that a lot of people looking for their first home have significant amount of student debt, we're very concerned about the first-time home buyer opportunities that exist.
2019 is going to be a pretty good year. As an engineering firm, we're very lucky to be involved in all different types of real estate. The common thread, in my opinion, is that most of the submarkets in real estate are impacted by population. And the population in Central Virginia is going to grow over the course of the next 20 years. And there was a time 5 or 6 years ago that we weren't building anything. So there's some pent-up demand that I think is going to carry us through this current surge that we're in right now and carry us well into 2019 and beyond.
For 2019, I foresee a good residential market in Richmond. The trends that I see are that buyers, whether they're millennials or empty nesters, are competing for the same product. That product has a new kitchen, new white finishes. An interesting trend in the residential market is everybody's always looking. If they own real estate, they're curious to know their value. If they're thinking one day they want to buy real estate, then they are looking at houses.
So my thoughts for 2019, I think the momentum is going to continue. You can see around Richmond there's a lot of projects under construction, as there are in other areas across the country. I think everyone wants to still take advantage of the rising tide. Reality of those of us that are a bit more senior in the market, we recognize that correction is probably on the horizon.
My forecast for 2019 is a healthy, robust office market. I think Richmond has some pretty phenomenal fundamentals that will keep us going. I do think we are supply constrained, so I'm hopeful that we will see some new construction in 2019. But overall, I think Richmond is poised to continue to do well.
I think 2019 is going to be a great year. Demand remains high. pricing is stable. I think if there's a challenge, it's going to be to see what mortgage rates do and how that impacts housing. I think those impacts will be greater on the attainable or affordable housing market. We are looking at she power, which is huge. 51% of the wealth is now controlled by her, and 85% of the consumer decisions are made by her, 92% in the housing market.
So I see the market in 2019 as a continuation of what's happened in 2018 from the retail perspective. A lot of growth, probably traditional inner city, suburbs as opposed to the suburban market. The suburban market is probably getting a little saturated. Changes in Scott's Addition and all of what's going on in the Fan, you'll just continue to see the restaurants and the mom and pop boutique stores continue to expand. Grove Avenue, Libby Avenue, Patterson Avenue area, or the new Carytown per se. Even Brooklyn Park Boulevard has the opportunity to just continue its momentum from 18 into 19 and potentially into 2020.
So in terms of the residential real estate market in 2019, I think it'll be a positive year, good, strong year. I don't look for 2019 to be that much more productive than 2018, but I don't see a reason that we would step back at this point.
So in 2019, I still see it as a very competitive but compelling market. By and large, all the different property segments are still very healthy.
Well, in 2019, particularly in Richmond, I just see great things. I mean, I think we're going full speed ahead. I'm very excited.
For 2019, suburban office, I see the outlook is good. We have good absorption this year. I expect good absorption next year. There are not too many large blocks of space, and we've seen good deal flow this year and good prospects for next year. I think Richmond is on people's radar. One of the things I've noticed is that our economic development has done a fabulous job advertising and marketing our region. And so we're seeing more looks from companies coming into Richmond and looking at it as a place for relocation because of the value in this city. We have a highly educated workforce and affordable living, and we've got options for real estate that's much lower cost than our competitive cities.